When somebody mentions the Middle East, what's the first thing that pops in your head? Well, if you're anything like me, and probably most other people alive today, you're now picturing an empty desert. With maybe a camel or two in it. Hello, Mr. Camel. Can I come closer? But don't let yourself be fooled by this idea, because that picture only represents one piece of a puzzle when it comes to understanding the charm and beauty of this region. One of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen. And yes, if you are interested in international politics, then you most likely don't agree with me.
Objection! Objection! Objection!
And the first idea in your head has to do with war and instability. But let's be honest, when it comes to this topic, I'm as competent as a fish on a bike. I can barely make sense and keep track of my own relationship.
How many times do I have to tell you, please wash your stuff after you've used them? Like, this is the millionth time.
And so, in this video, we'll stick to the deserts. Or perhaps even more accurately, what lies beyond them. The true Middle East that makes this region what it is today. Although the country and region we are traveling to today shares an almost 1,000 miles long land border with its 3 neighbors, then it is often referred to as an island, because in many ways it is separated from the rest of the world by 2 seas.
What?
One of them looks like this. You know, the wetness, waves, and surprisingly more turtles than you can count. Holy crap, never ever seen anything like this. But that's a story for another video, as our adventure today starts at the other end of the country, in a sea much more special. A place where we are at the moment is quite accurately named Empty Quarter. I could walk nearly 1,000 kilometers that way. Nothing would change. Not a single soul. Most likely not see one living animal. Known amongst the locals as Rue al-Khali, this desert is one of the harshest environments on our planet. It is nearly twice the size of Germany, and to put it in perspective, the first documented expedition through it was only made less than 100 years ago, in 1930. Almost 20 years after humans conquered the South Pole. You know, the coldest bloody place on our planet, with winds so strong they could fly me like a kite. Okay, sorry for the little rant about the desert. I guess I just wanted to show you why Oman could be considered an island, because for ages there was just no way of crossing this sea of sand, and the only way we could do it was thanks to this. Some would call it a true miracle. It's the first paved road that crosses the Empty Quarter. It's not even 10 years old. It was built in 2015, and in many ways it's changing the way Oman does trade, because for thousands of years it was much harder to cross the desert than to go by water. Well, yeah, even paved roads are sometimes not enough to keep unexperienced drivers from getting stuck.
The funny part is that we have been driving and spending time in the desert for the past 3 days, and we had many chances of getting stuck, and now we get stuck 1 meter from the road. Success?
Success! Oh my gosh, I did not expect that.
To get stuck or to get out!
But that's just the way things are here. Everything changes so fast. And it requires the constant work of many big machines to keep this road operational. I just wanted to show you that this is what happens if a loader driver misses his shift for a week or 2. The road is totally gone. And it's a wide concrete road. After spending days in the Empty Quarter, and before that, months in the other Gulf countries.
So if you're asking how life is going, this is it.
We slowly started to believe that maybe Middle East is nothing more than just sandy deserts and glass skyscrapers, which technically are also made of sand. Yet as we crossed the border, things slowly started to change. Alright. We have made it to Oman.
Welcome to Oman.
First, we noticed a few lonely trees. Trees are starting to appear. We haven't seen trees for 3 days. Together with them came camels. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, greenery. And it's even weird to say it out loud, but I get so excited when I see date palms and vegetable gardens. I would have never thought that seeing someone else's garden would bring me so much happiness.
The guy gets excited for trees and gardens. This is the reality.
It's true. But I guess months in a desert can change a person, even if just a little bit. Excuse me, sir. What are you doing there? Maybe he doesn't speak English. Bleh. Bleh. Nope, I think he's just rude. Yet the color of the landscape was far from the only thing that changed as we entered Oman. You see, most other oil-rich nations in the Middle East have adopted the more futuristic approach to their country and architecture.
That's some sandy boy.
You know, the skyscrapers, fast cars, and over-the-top luxury. But Oman, on the other hand, has literal laws in place to preserve their historic and cultural appearance. The first place we got to experience it was in a town of Bahla. The houses here are low, modestly colored, and almost as a rule, they have beautiful gardens. Just the greenery, palm trees. It's so common that around the houses it's like green oasis. Honestly, simply walking here feels like you're in an old movie, and in the back of your head you kind of expect that any minute a cliché Arabic music starts playing. Yeah, I guess you should have seen that one coming, eh? I'm sorry for that. We've made it to Bahla Fort, which is one of the 4 UNESCO heritage sites here in Oman. The fort is more than 500 years old, and the mud bricks the structure is made of give it a very unique appeal. It's pretty interesting how they've used natural structures, like half of a castle is actually a mountain, and then around the mountain is built man-made structures. Takes away half of the work. And of course, the views from the higher level of the fortress are hard to beat. Queen Bee having a look over her hive.
Do you think I would get corrupt by power?
No.
I agree. I wouldn't be a good queen, I think.
And although it might sound a little bit strange, then the main purpose when this castle was built was to control the trade of frankincense. So it's like the tree resin, they get it from a special tree, and a few hundred years ago it was the most precious part of all perfumes and also incense, so it just smells amazing. And to this day the whole country smells like it. And I'm really not joking when I say that they use it everywhere. Yeah, everywhere. Every day from 1 to 4 in the afternoon, almost all the stores and services in Oman close their doors. It's siesta time, and for a few hours the whole country goes for an afternoon nap. So the market is totally empty, but just look at that. Due to this, there wasn't much else to see in Bahla. But luckily, this left us with enough time to visit one more place. And although we didn't know it yet, it just so happened to be the place that would change our perception of the Middle East forever. This small village, Misfah al-Abrin, is situated on the foothills of Oman's highest mountain, Jebel Shams. Cover your knees, cover your shoulders. Knees and shoulders. Head and toes, head and toes. And for two reasons, it's referred to as the mud village in English. First one is of course due to the mud bricks the village is made out of. These are palm trunks and then palm leaves to support the mud and clay that makes up the big portion of the walls. And well, the second reason being that for non-locals, it's just so damn hard to say Misfah al-Abrin. That mud village is just so much better to keep up the conversation. The village is built between and around two huge boulders. And although thanks to the brittle nature of mud bricks, the oldest houses here are just a few hundred years old, then the history of the village itself dates back more than 2,000 years. It's thought that the village was established by Bedouins. They probably just had enough of dwelling around the endless sands, and when they found this oasis, there was just one thing to do, to settle down. Already purring, eh? The narrow streets take you on a journey back through the ages, into a much simpler time.
Don't know where I'm going.
The smells and the sounds here are mesmerizing. Day and night, this village is filled with the sound of water, smell of nature and greenery, and then when you go between the houses, from each house comes the sense of frankincense. But the proof that this place is truly so old can be found in a canyon behind the village itself. What makes this town or a village even more special are the very same waterways we're standing next to. They are over 2,000 years old, showing how long this place has been inhabited, and it's a system of canals bringing the water from the oasis to the gardens and terraces of the village. The place feels like an oasis out of a storybook.
It really does feel like a paradise garden. There's like palm trees and it's all so green and there's water.
The green terraces and clever ways of agriculture. Corn. We've seen different grains. Just small patches. Every terrace has something. The calm and stunning atmosphere, where only the song of birds and sound of water break the silence.
I feel like a butterfly because it smells like flowers here. It's very lovely.
As we wandered through the green paradise, it suddenly became clear that this here was the missing puzzle piece to understand the Middle East. Yes, statistically, around 90% of this region is desert. But desert is the part that is empty. You know, it's almost like the air in your bag of chips. We all know it's there. It's filling the space, but there's just not a lot to do with it. Yet what made it possible for humans to survive and thrive here for a millennia after another were places like this. What water does to the desert, it's amazing. So many living organisms. And so, to really understand the culture and history of this region, then this here can really be called the real Middle East that you really need to see. Oh, and as we were leaving this village, thinking that now we had seen it all, we couldn't have been more wrong. Because as we soon found out, Oman was full of secrets we couldn't have even imagined before seeing them with our own eyes. And as this is only the beginning of our journey in this land, we truly hope that you will join us next week, as then we begin to discover the two capital cities of this mysterious country. Friends, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you enjoyed this video, also consider joining us on Patreon. We have a travel family over there, and the link to the page is in the description of this video. It's literally the best way to support this channel. It keeps us on the road and also gives us the freedom not to put like those meat video ads in every possible place. So thank you to all of you for watching, and we'll see you next Thursday. Bye.